Even my mama think that my mind is gone. What's up? What's up? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Melissa's up in the house. Let's roll. Let's roll. Melissa's already in here. What's up, it? What's up, it? What's up, it? What's up, it? Hello. Hello. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Hey, that's pretty sick right there, dude. Save that photo. Saved it. Come back over here and put that what's goody in the hoodie, bro. What's up? Bringing news on nuclear war, huh? That doesn't sound fun at all, actually. Nuclear fucking war, bro, already? We'll dive into that. Seems pretty insane. What's up? You're in Poland, bro. What's up, Kelty? Kelty's in the house. All right, we'll check out that video in a second. What's up? What's up? Let me just drop the shit wherever it's got to shit. Just kidding, where it's got to go. Where it's got to go. Got to go ski. Gots and go. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's goody in the hoodie? It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Who's up in here? Where's everybody at, dude? Where's everybody at, dude? Where are you at? Where's everybody at, dude? Where are you at? What's up, guys? Hell yeah. Let's go, dude. Let's go. What's up? Vox is in the house. What's up? Vox is in the house. Who do we got over here on Facebook, though, bro? Where's Facebook at? Dang, I don't have no boffy. Let me get one of these little kids down here to get me some freaking boff and toff and Skofilovsky. Hell yeah. Joey Bryan, what's up? If you're here, say hello. I appreciate you guys just for even showing up today, bro. It's Friday, bro. We're going to have a good-ass little stream, talk about a whole bunch of little crazy-ass stuff, and then, oh, man, I hate to do this to you guys again and melt your mind, but we are going to make sure we get a breath work in today because we're about to dive into some crazy stuff about Jesus. Yeah, you heard me. Jesus, bro. And I'm telling you that it's not anything that you might even know about. It's not the greatest. I mean, it is great. It's actually really great. But it's not going to be something that's going to be easily digestible for people who are new to the information. If I'm just being straight up with you, dude. If I'm being straight up with you, dude. It's going to be an insane little day we're about to have here. You know what I'm saying? Let me just real quick. Menace, what's up? Let me just real quick post a story real fast. Let me just post a story real fast. Yo, 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 check it out. What's up? I'm live on YouTube. Use the link above. Use the link above. I hope to see you there. Anyways, peace out. Use the link above. Use the link above. I hope to see you there. Peace out. Yo, 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 check it out. What's up? I'm live on YouTube. Use the link above. Use the link above. I hope to see you there. I am started right now, yeah. I actually am. No, I was actually just posting a story telling everybody to come over and hang out. Thank you, Release and Transform, for the bits, bro. Thank you. What's up? Karen LeBlanc's in the house. Who do we got up in here? We got some peeps on YouTube. We got the gang's getting back in town over here on Kick. All right. Clarissa, Release and Transform. Kelty's over up on Twitch. Who do we got on Facebook so far? I'm seeing Joey and Karen. Well, thanks for showing up, Joey and Karen. I appreciate that. I am in Utah. Pioneer. Oh, yeah, because today is a holiday, bro. Oh, yeah, I remember now, dude. I remember now, dude. We get to light off fireworks today, bro. If it's not illegal, bro, because today's Pioneer Day, dude. All right, thanks, bro. Thank you for making some more coffee for me, Cletus. Can I get a, oh, yeah? Hell yeah. Did you guys hear that? Hell yeah. That's one thing we do around in our house all the time, actually. I always just be like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Just kidding. Sorry, I'll stop. I'm just having a good time. I'm here to hang out, bro. We're here just chilling. Hanging out. We're going to get into some crazy shit today, actually. There's a whole bunch of clips that I want to go over on X. I will show you this. If you guys seen my little video I posted about this shit, bro? Maybe you guys don't know about this. The Illuminati family and their associates. Oh, yeah. We got what? Oh, yeah. The Mormon leadership. Just like with what Candace was saying, bro, about this Mormon mafia shit, bro. I'm just telling you, bro. It's just right there. Mormon leadership, bro. You know what I'm saying? EFTA 010826667. I love you too, Darlene. Thank you for being here, bro. Happy Friday. Thank you guys for being here. YouTube, what's up, bro? There's people up on YouTube, but they must be too cool right now to just put poop emojis in the chat or something. But whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. I was actually doing lots of research today, bro. Lots and lots of Epstein research today. Well, let's see here. Where's the ones about his pilots? Where's the pilot one? Right here. Look at this. That there was documentation showing that the pilots were actually they were aware that they were fudging or like forging the manifest or the flight logs. You know what I'm saying? Courtney, what's up, dude? How's it going? Courtney in the house. Let's go. Hola, Julia. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Their names are Larry Visosky, David Rogers. Those are the two pilots that Jeffrey Epstein used. But for some reason, it just seems super weird why those pilots were never taken down. You know what I mean? Why didn't they go to jail? You know what I mean? If me and you were hanging out and shit, bro, I got to get the chat up over here. Whoa, what's going on with the chat, bro? Let me just reload the chat up, bro. We should have the chat reloaded up over here. We got the chat on the dome piece over here. We got chat. Oh, we do got chat now. What's up, Joey Brian? How's it going? Bro, you have an anniversary badge, bro? Dang, you've been a follower for a long ass time. What's up, Team Human? Brianna Cork is in the house. We got Clarissa, Monica, Release and Transform, Vox. We got Scotty Wheels up in here. Let's go, Scotty. What's up, Nina? How's it going, Nina? If nobody has told you today, you can do anything you set your mind to. And it's really always just been you versus your mind. Nobody else is out to get you. Your mind is going to be the one that makes it so you feel like you're not good enough. You're not smart enough, but you are. You are enough just the way you are because you're made up of the same exact stuff that the stars are made out of, bro. And I just want to let you know that if nobody's told you today, I love all of you guys. I'm proud of all of you guys. For Rizzle. Nina, shout out Nina. Can everybody just put some hearts in the chat to shout Nina out? Which is our dear friend Courtney's daughter up over here. Let's go, Nina. What's up, Holly? What's up, TBA? We got a squad in here today, bro. We're getting into some business today, bro. At the end of the stream, we're going to do some meditation and breath work because what we're going to do before the meditation and breath work is literally destroy any sort of narrative that you potentially have regarding Jesus and his mom and his wife and just who he was in all actuality. If I'm being 100% honest with you, it's quite insane. It's quite insane. Are you guys ready to get up in here today? If you guys are up in here, please make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you don't already subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, and let's get into it. Every single day, Monday through Friday, I come up in here and I try my best to just understand this weird ass complex thing called reality that we live in. Do I have all the answers? Hell no. Do I try to find all the answers? Hell yeah. But with that being said, bro, at the beginning of every stream, I want to do what I like to do, and that's just positively help humans. I want you to be able to have something that you can take with you when you close out of this app, because I don't know how long you're going to watch my stream for. You might watch for 5 minutes. You might watch for the whole entire 3-hour fucking little live stream we're getting up into. You know what I'm saying? So at the very beginning of the stream, I like to make sure that at least I can help in a positive and spiritual way. And on Facebook, if you guys want to watch this on YouTube, which it's going to be way better. I personally think the viewing experience on YouTube is way better. I did just drop the link in the Facebook chat to the YouTube. But yeah. Can we just get some alien emojis in the chat before we get up into this mindful message, which is just the opening message, and it's just something that I hope that your soul can take with you and that it can positively impact you, because at the end of the day, I have absolutely no idea where this stream is going to go. Melissa's talking about news of nuclear war. We've got stuff to get into when it comes to Jesus and shit. We've got some clips on X to go over. It's going to be a fun day. But don't worry, no matter how fucking crazy today's stream gets, at the end of it, we're going to do some breathing meditation techniques together. Not only one, so that it can neutralize maybe some heavy or negative energy that we pile on while we're here in the stream. But two, because the craziest shit, sometimes it gets talked about and discussed here on this Tripoverdrip Team Human live stream. And so I don't feel good as a human talking about some crazy, hella heavy shit. And then just like, all right, dude, peace out. You know what I'm saying? So here, you guys ready for this? Let's get right into this, bro. Cheers. I need a little blinker too. But what if the way you protect your mind in a world like this is the one thing that decides who you become next, not just mentally, but spiritually? And if that hit anything, you can just say, I'm protecting my mind in the comments. So you can mark the moment that you stop treating your thought life like it was separate from your soul. Because your mind is not just a cluster of thoughts. It's literally a gateway. What enters it doesn't just stay in your head. It starts to sink into your heart, shapes into your atmosphere, and eventually shows up in your choices in your relationships and your sense of who the fuck you actually are. The world right now is spiritually loud as shit. War, fear, outrage, division, endless urgent updates. Every headline, every clip, every conversation carries that kind of energy, and your mind is where that energy lands first. If you don't guard that landing zone, you're not just letting random information in. You're letting random spirit in. Fear, anger, despair, envy, numbness. And over time, those don't just color your mood. They start to color your faith, your hope, your ability to hear God, your ability to be at peace with yourself. Guarding your mind is the true spiritual work. Ancient wisdom has been saying this forever. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The peace of God will guard your heart and your mind. Guarding is not passive. It's not something that you just sit here and do. It's active, bro. It means that you pay attention to what you watch, to what you listen to what you dwell on and allow to loop inside of your mind. It means that you stop watering thoughts that poison your spirit and start feeding thoughts that align with truth, love, and clarity. Because a mind with no doors, no boundaries, no filters becomes a place where anything can grow. Fear can grow, lies can grow, cynicism can grow. A quiet sense that God is far away can grow. A low-grade belief that life is pointless can grow. And you wake up one day wondering how you even got here, bro. And the answer is often really simple. You just never guarded what you allowed in. Spiritually, guarding your mind looks like choosing your companions and inputs wisely. What you consume forms what you believe. It also looks like running from environments, habits, and voices that constantly darken your inner world, and returning regularly to sources of truth, wisdom, and presence that lift your sight higher than the latest crisis. It's easy to treat this as like extra credit, something for monks, mystics, or super devoted people, but in reality, everyone is being shaped spiritually by whatever they allow into their mind, whether they know it or not. If your thoughts are constantly rehearsing worst-case scenarios, your nervous system will learn fear. If your thoughts are consistently replaying resentment, your heart will learn bitterness. If your thoughts are consistently marinating in lust, greed, comparison, your desires learn hunger with no satisfaction. Now, on the other hand, if your thoughts keep returning to what is noble, true, and aligned, your spirit slowly learns trust, peace, and clarity. That's why guarding your mind is not about avoiding reality. It's about aligning with a higher reality. You still see what's happening. You still mourn what's broken. You still feel the weight of the world. But you choose to not let those weights be the only voices that you meditate on. You invite something greater to guard your space. Prayer instead of just panic, silence instead of constant noise, scripture, wisdom, grounding, truth instead of just consistent, unfiltered input. You could say that my mind will not be a playground for every random spirit that wants my attention. It will be a place where I intentionally host the things that grow me. And if you're ready for that shift, you can just comment the word, I guard my gates. So you can name your mind for what it is, a gate that needs watchmen. Because when you protect your mind, you're not just managing stress. You're protecting your ability to hear God. You're protecting your ability to be kind when the world wants you to be cruel. You're protecting your ability to forgive when everything tells you just to harden. You're protecting your ability to stay sensitive without breaking wide open. Guarding your mind also means identifying lies and refusing to feed them. The lie that you're alone. The lie that you're worthless. The lie that nothing will ever change. The lie that the worst thing is the final thing. You name them. You reject them. You replace them with what's actually true. That's spiritual warfare at the level of thought. You stop giving darkness free rent inside of your imagination, and slowly your inner climate will shift, bro. But I'll be honest, you won't become perfect. It's not like you're never going to struggle again. You will, but you will notice a difference. You will notice that your mind is less easily hijacked. You will notice that your heart is less easily shaken, that your spirit is more easily anchored. So let this be your deeper line today, the line in the sand. I will not let this world decide the spiritual climate of my own mind. I will guard my inputs. I will question even my own thoughts. I will refuse to nurture lies. I will welcome peace, truth, and presence into the places where fear used to live. Because in a world like this, bro, the way you protect your mind really can decide who you become next. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So with that, let's get into today's stream. I love you, Team Human. Shoo! I don't know about y'all, but dab of gas. Dab of gas. Dab of gas. Dab of gas. Have you guys seen those videos? The dab of gas videos? Cheerio, mate. Top of the morning to you, partner. What's up, Team Humans in the house? I love you guys, for real. I love you so much. You guys mean the world to me. Even if we never have ever even met before in real life, I think about you and love all of you guys so much. 100. Can we get 100s in the chat? Oh, Vox, bro. Vox always be coming up in here sharing freaking, dropping subscriptions over on Kick, bro. Over on Kick, bro. Scotty Wheel, I love you too, bro. Scotty Wheel's kind of a big deal, bro. I'm telling you what, Scotty will be up in there chatting with some people that I want to chat with, bro. Scotty Will's a legend, bro. He be up in there talking with Danks and with fucking, he be up in there talking to fucking Real Bays. He be over there freaking chatting it with the fucking Alley Files and shit. He'd be part of the squad that I watch. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say I appreciate you for even being up in here, bro. Just you being here. Like all the people that came from like Ian and Kevin's streams and shit and came over to my stream, it just makes me feel like I'm part of the team, bro. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, it just makes me feel like I'm part of the team, bro. Even though I know that like energetically I'm part of the team. What's up, Nicola Rios? Dang, what's up? We got some new people up over here on fucking on YouTube. Waking Collective, what's up? What's up, Christy Mole, Courtney? We've got Nicolios over here. What's up, dude? What's up, dude? You know what I'm saying? I dropped some bangers this morning, bro. I dropped some bangers. Welcome to Team Human. Okay, we got some shit, dude. We got some shit to go over before we get into the shit that will blow your mind, okay? I'm just being honest. We got some shit to go over before we get to the shit that will blow your mind. First of all, you know, I just felt like we should just hear it right out of the horse's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Let's just take it for what he says. What's up, Lawrence? I see you in the house, bro. I see you, homie. What's up, G? What's up, Holly? Stacy? Different view? What do you mean a different view? Why did I remove different view from the streaming platform? I don't know what you're talking about. But if you wanted to, you could definitely head up on over to the YouTube, bro. You know what I'm saying? Head up on over to the YouTube. Click the link in the chat. Say what's up when you get to YouTube. Because we're just going to let, we're just going to let Rothschild say it. We could hear it come out of his own mouth.
In modern Jewish history, and it begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
It's an interesting question because it was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe. But they didn't clarify who was in charge of that movement. And in addition, it was after all in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed. And Walter was Lord Rothschild, and he was a Zionist. And those really are the background reasons.
So Walter received the Balfour Declaration, and I have a copy here. And I wonder if I could possibly ask you to read it.
Yeah, I mean, just wanted to play that a little bit. You know what I mean? Of course you won't do it again, buddy. Sorry, I had to deal with little Cletus over there. XOXO Pulse, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, it just seems weird, you know, like we were talking about, the Rothschilds on the Illuminati list from the Epstein files. It just seems weird that Epstein was saying that he represents the Rothschilds. Wait a second. Didn't Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran are like the only countries on the planet that don't have a Rothschild central banking system? We kidnapped their president. We're currently at war with Iran. It seems as if there's potentially a powerful family behind all of this to force the entire planet into a central banking system. You know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a little bit reaching too far, but I've just been curious as well. Like, where is Mitch McConnell, bro? This is, shout out Kevin is a human. This is his post. We're going to go ahead and just boom. For real. For real. For real. Like, there we go. Where is Mitch McConnell, bro? Where is this fucking weird ass dude? All right. This is the video I was talking about. I sent Queen Trip this video because James Lee's talking about how he potentially thinks that this that he potentially thinks that the flock thing is like a psyop, bro. It's like a psyop, bro. Let's just let James talk.
This flock thing is almost certainly a deep state psyop, and I got all the receipts.
You know, one of the content creators for the administration, basically a binder guy, an Epstein binder guy, all of a sudden saying the flock cameras are wrong, and then you did a deep dive and you found out something really interesting.
I found pretty much like at least half a dozen cities that have canceled flock, but then signed up for another surveillance system, Axon.
Except, who has ownership in this company?
Well, turns out Trump. Earlier this year, he bought $5 million worth of stock in Axon.
The minions of...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're telling me you're septic? Lacey Lane, oh no, that's not good. We love you, Lacey. Can everybody just spam all the chats with hearts for Lacey Lane? We're sending her some love energy, some healing energy. We love you, Lacey. I'm sorry that you're sick. Do you know what would probably really, really help you? And this is not any medical advice. I am not a doctor whatsoever. I'm just a human who've learned how humans in the past have healed themselves. Right now, you should just straight on only do a 72-hour fruit fast. Only fruits. Only fruits. Let me see here. Just gonna spit some things out real fast, okay? Okay, so I understand completely that you're not allowed to give me any medical advice because you are not a professional doctor, correct?
I can share general information about health topics, but you're right. I'm not a medical professional. If you have specific concerns or medical questions, it's always best to consult a licensed healthcare provider.
Okay, so if, let's say, what are people on the internet talking about doing 72-hour or even 7-day fruit fasts and how it compares to like cleansing and healing, etc.?
I found a range of opinions online about 72-hour and 7-day fruit fasts. Supporters say fruit fasts can act as a gentle cleanse, providing vitamins, minerals, fiber, and enzymes that help stimulate digestion, support hydration, boost metabolism, and strengthen the immune system. They often describe feeling more energized, less bloated, and enjoying a sense of self-discipline and mental clarity. Some even report weight loss or improved skin. Critics, however, caution that the claims of detoxifying organs or achieving major health benefits in such a short time are overstated. They point out that our bodies naturally detoxify through organs like the liver and kidneys, and that fruit fasts can lack essential nutrients like protein and fats, potentially leading to fatigue or nutrient deficiencies if done for too long.
Okay, wait a second, though. I'm pretty sure that there's I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure that there's a guy that said that he's lived for 40 years only eating watermelon.
can understand why that would catch your attention. I can't confirm such claims, and it's important to stay grounded.
I don't need you to confirm the claims. I just need you to confirm that there is an individual that is saying that. He's like a African-American male with a long white beard. I can't remember his name. Can you find his name for me?
I wasn't able to find anyone claiming to have lived 40 years eating only watermelon. The search turned up references to Jay Leno eating a whole watermelon daily, and a fruitarian named Bobby Smith who ate only watermelon for 103 days. But
Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith. I'm just telling you, bro. I just gotta say. No, that's not him either. It's like an older black man. Anyways, do your research, okay? Do your research into fruit fasting or just fasting in general, because guess what happens? This is from my understanding. I could be completely off base. Don't quote me. Do your own research. This isn't medical advice, but I'm absolutely sure that us as humans, right? Us as humans get into this where like we're supposed to eat 3 times a day. So you're telling me that my stomach is consistently just digesting stuff all day long? Did you know that your stomach has a lot of other functions? Like all of the organs, like your liver has like 140 different functions. But think about the potential that there are functions that the stomach and your organs have when you're in rest, and you're in rest mode, when your stomach is empty for long periods of time. What I have heard, like I said, I'm not no freaking doctor or anything like that. But what I have heard is that after your body realizes that there is no more food in your stomach to digest, it then starts finding things to get rid of, which usually is like viruses, sickness. Yeah, fasting is a huge healing power because it attacks the things that aren't supposed to be there. Your immune system does, when it doesn't have to just do nothing but worry about food. Have any of y'all ever heard that stuff before, or is it just me? I don't know. Then we got 11 concurrent people up on here on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Anyways, Lacey, we love you. We're sending lots and lots of healing energy your way. Because we're doing that, you know what I'm saying? Lots of healing energy. I just want to play a song that might make you happy. It makes me happy whenever I hear this, bro. Yes, I will send you the link. Real quick, let me play the song.
Hey, Orange Pig, America first? Oops. Oh boy.
That was the slogan you stole.
Baby's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold. We're not just fighting for Iran. Hear this clear. Your people reached out to us. Yeah, we got the DMs here. If one nation's gonna stand against the Epstein regime's fear, it's us till the last breath. We've been doing it for years. We're standing here for everyone your system ever wronged. They've known all along. The enemy was always you. The real threat wore a suit and sung a patriotic song while selling their own citizens and calling it strong. Stealing from your own people, making them bleed, taking tax dollars just to fund your own greed. They waking up to the lies, the illusions of burst. You screamed America first, now you put losers first. Make Israel great again. The government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel.
They ordered you to die for Israel.
They lied
to you. Oh.
You saw everything. If the public ever saw the files, man, the planet would shake from the level of filth and the crimes in your wake. No wonder Jeff called you the worst, you degenerate snake. You claimed you never set foot. You went 40 plus times. You sick bastard, you cooked. We stepping up to the plate. Epstein regime gotta fall. You fake Christian elite sacrificing the ball. Demon, you talk real big for a man with tiny hands. Tiny hands, tiny things, tiny everything. We saw everything, and word got out. The smallness kinda expands. No wonder all those rage tweets, all those desperate rants. Overcompensating bully, always causing the scene. You said you love losers. Well,
look at your team.
government is run by.
Your government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel.
They lied to you.
Your government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. Okay, it's not over till the fat man sings. You're right. We are so fucked. Yeah, especially if Israel takes over our fucking military. We are fucked. But let's keep going. Actually, I gotta pee, bro. I really gotta go potty. So I'm just gonna come over to YouTube again and just put something on here for you guys to freaking watch real fast. My VPN says I'm in some other country or some shit. MA, I don't even know where that is. Then we got 13 people on YouTube. Let's go. Oh my goodness, Cal Scrooby just dropped a new one, dude. Oh shit, that's one of my favorite rappers, bro. Cal Scrooby. Where's that link? Where's the link that you posted at the beginning of the chat, Melissa? We'll have you guys watch that. Oh, there's a new one about Charlie. Oh, that's fucking crazy, bro. Right there. What is that? Oh, no, that's me. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, is that you, Kobe? I don't know who Kobe is. My name's Trevor. Nice to meet you. What's up, Monica Tapp? Yeah, you're right, Monica. It does state in the Bible that fasting is a cure to all disease and illness. Whoop, 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 whoop. What's up, boy? Okay. Let's see here. We'll just watch this.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that even the Israelis, who are world famous for reckless bloodthirsty
I'll be right back.
behavior, and there are partners in this venture, keep in mind, are now saying, I don't know, I'm out. And if you don't believe it, watch this. This is the Secretary of Finance Secretary of Israel. He's in the Netanyahu cabinet, very famous man, Mr. Smotrich, basically saying, it looks like America's going back in this war, but we're out because, you know what? Even I don't want to die for Israel. Watch this.
כרגע למדינת ישראל אין אינטרס להצטרף למערכה. המצב הנוכחי שבה יש מערכה מתוחמת בין איראן לארצות הברית הוא הנכון והטוב ביותר לנו. צריך לזכור שמטרת העל שלנו במערכה, וזה לאו דווקא משותף עם ארצות הברית, זה לערער, להחליש עד כדי הפלת המשטר. אנחנו לא יודעים להשלים עם קיומו של משטר שחותר להשמדת מדינת ישראל.
It takes a lot of, well, chutzpah to say something like that in public if you were a cabinet minister in the government that the U.S. military is partnering with in this war, because you just saw what he said. And if you don't speak Hebrew, you could read the subtitles. He said, yeah, what the U.S. is doing is helpful to us. We have no interest in a liberal government or a pro-Western government in Iran. We don't care about the protesters. We were weeping about, they're killing protesters. We never cared about that. We want the country in a bloody generational civil war, so we don't have to deal with it, so we can take southern Lebanon and parts of Egypt and kill the rest of the people in Gaza or whatever. We don't want to be constrained by this country on the other side of the Persian Gulf, so we want the United States to take them out, and we're happy about that. It serves our interests. He just said it. But the one thing we're not going to do is die for it. Yes, this is for Israel. This war is for Israel, but I'm not dying for Israel. Amazing you could say something like this. It's unclear that there's a single American.
All right, let's run it. Which one is this? Oh, that's IMA. That is IMA. Oh, you a Nazi? Oh, you a thief? Oh, you a Delaware? On a team. Cause they killed Marley and they killed Kennedy and they killed Butlerland. You know what I'm saying? They killed Diana. This is their anthem. Stay silent, stay violent, stay plugged in and keep up the cams, keep up the wall, keep up the pole. You know what I'm saying?
President Trump going out now against Flock, and meanwhile, Americans don't realize they're just being replaced with a different surveillance system where Trump is getting some royalties on the side.
Now there's reporting that this guy has come out with, Tony Ortiz, saying that he's spoken to at least 2 influencers that have been approached about getting paid to post negatively about Flock.
So there you go.
Then I looked into the investors. So Flock is invested by Andreessen Horowitz. That's Mark Andreessen.
I just have to shout out real quick. For real, dude, I got 18 people up in here on YouTube, bro. I'll just have you know I love you guys. Thank you guys for clicking on the video or the story or wherever you came from. I ain't never really even had that many people on YouTube at one time. So I just, I appreciate you guys, for real. Thank you for being here, bro. If you guys do like to watch streams, I also am streaming on Kick. That's where there's a lot of other people as well up over on Kick. So I just pinned the Kick link to the top of the YouTube chat. If you wanted to head up over to Kick as well, it's up to you. You could stay here, you could chill, but we're in here for the long haul. We got some really crazy shit to get over. We got some clips to go through, and then we're going to get into some really crazy shit about this individual named Jesus or Yeshua. And you might not have ever even looked at this information. So I hope to see you there towards the end of the stream. We got a little bit more clips to go over, but thank you all for being here. For real. I appreciate it. Like, more than you could ever know. 18 people on YouTube, bro. Hell yeah.
Part of the Silicon Valley technocratic elite. Founders Fund, that's Peter Thiel's group, as well as Y Combinator, that is the group that Sam Altman used to run. And if you look at Axon is a publicly traded company, so that's old school, that's banker finance money. So their top shareholders are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
Right.
It's like, why are they pushing anti-flap? Oh, is it because potentially they want to steer these city contracts towards Axon?
100%.
Is that a possibility? I have
Yes.
one more thing to share.
Yeah.
This is the headline. Epstein could have made $100 million on a secret police tech investment. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak helped convicted sex trafficker quietly invest $1 million into a police tech startup in 2015. So Axon just bought last year the company that Epstein founded back in 2015 called Carbon. So now you have the tie of Epstein and the Israelis involved with this Axon company.
And Trump.
Versus the technocratic elites. But the thing is, people aren't paying attention because everything is like anti-flock, de-flock. We need to get rid of these flock cameras. But they're quietly putting up these Axon cameras in replacement, and they're tied to Israel, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, BlackRock, Vanguard.
So that's the point.
That's the point.
It doesn't really matter what evil group is behind it. We need to make sure that we're knocking down all surveillance cameras.
What? How many of you guys knew that, bro? How many of you guys fucking knew that, bro? That's insane to me. Because when I was telling Queen Trip about this, right? She's like, no, I don't know if it's a psyop. I don't know. But it would make sense that the Trump administration would be pushing this anti-flock if he just so happened to invest $5 million into this other surveillance company called Axon, bro. What do you think, bro? You tell me. I think all fucking surveillance is bad. You know, it just seems kind of crazy that these pedophiles and the tyrants, they want to put cameras up to surveil us, but we as people, if they're going to put cameras up to surveil us, we need cameras in their offices. You know, on public lines where anyone can go and look at the live feed of whatever's happening. If you're going to put a fucking flock camera in my city and want to be able to observe and monitor everything I do, okay, well, I want a surveillance camera inside all of the court buildings too. We should know public information should be applicable to everybody, that we should be able to watch, and there should be a website that any of us could just go to and just click and just look inside courtroom number 6. You know what I'm saying? If we wanted to, or we could just go and just look inside fucking the judge's office and see what's happening inside of his office. Something to think about. But why did it take flock cameras to piss people off and not the baby eating, the drug the blood drinking, the child sacrificing, and the felonious pedophiles. Absolutely. It's kind of insane, right? Like how there's more outrage over the flock cameras than there was about children allegedly being eaten by people or the elites who worship Baal. Seems a little sus. Oh, this is just something I wanted to show you guys. You know what I'm saying? This is just like, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is true, but it says the moment a soul enters the body, it says that this is filmed under a microscope. It's got music. I'm not going to play the music because I don't want necessarily to get copyrighted, but watch this. Like, where's the light? Where's the light coming from? Are we literally watching creation right now, bro? Where's the light inside of this? Look at this. Look how crazy. And then a baby's born, dude. Is that real, bro? And then a baby's born? We got to watch that again. What is happening? Where is this light coming from? And all of a sudden they morph into each other in this light, and then all of a sudden it just dissipates and a baby is created. It seems kind of crazy. Seems crazy, but really cool at the same time, dude, right? Oh, yeah. Shout out Lori. Here we go. Let's let Donald Trump say the fucking retarded shit Donald Trump says. Sorry, there was no sound. My bad. My bad, dude. I pulled a Baron, bro. I'm sorry. I pulled a Baron Coleman with no sound, bro. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, guys. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I think you are really cool, Matthew. I think you are really cool, Matthew. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Let's hear what bitch ass Donald Trump has to say.
You have to convince your community how great these things. You can't fight it. You have to go with it. And you're going to have all that protection, and we're giving you automatic protection, but you're going to make a tremendous amount of money. You're going to reduce taxes, and you're going to have something that if you don't have it, everybody else wants it. So these are the smartest people. Most of you in this room, we have a couple probably on the other side of things. They disagree, but I don't know how they can disagree. Your community and your state's going to become rich, and there's very little disruption. And again, if you don't take all that money, somebody else is going to take it. You might as well do it yourself. So,
do you know? Can I just tell you exactly what I heard right there? He's literally saying, he's feeding on greed. Because we all know that these data centers are fucking catastrophic for the environment. Which, if you've seen my clip about it, here's the one conspiracy that I have no way to prove, but I 100% believe is that these data centers are not actually for data. They're actually to power and transport information and data to these underground cities that they're building before they blow us all up. I mean, there could only be, I mean, if I'm being 100% honest with you, there could be only one reason why the president's son is going to a different country and buying a bunker with 150 bunkers on it, or buying an island with 150 bunkers, bro. Like, isn't that just weird to anyone else? But basically he was feeding on people's greed by saying, like, you don't want to take this money? Like, who gives a shit if it's going to kill some of the fucking citizens? Who gives a shit if some of the deer or wildlife are going to be taken out? And if it kind of messes up the water and just completely destroys all the natural resources in this place? If you don't take it, somebody else will. And you're going to be missing out on money, you greedy ass piece of shit. You're a greedy piece of shit. So you better take this money or someone else will, you freaking idiot. That's like dead ass what I heard Trump say, bro. That's dead ass what I heard. You better take this money, you dummy, because somebody else is. Who cares about what the citizens think? Okay. The cool thing about my stream that's different from other streams is we just bounce all over the place, bro. We just jump up and down. We go all sorts of different places. We're not now we're jumping into the moon landing. You know, we were right at Trump. Fuck Trump. You know what I'm saying? And if you're new here, it's fuck the government on both sides. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm actually just like Jesus, anti-government, anti-religion. You know what I'm saying? But let's just hear what Jesse Michaels had to say with this dude who worked for NASA about the moon landing. Can we just possibly, I'm trying to get a head count because we got quite a bit of people in here. I'd be willing to bet this might be the largest live stream I've ever had by looking at the numbers on the screens. I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Right now, I'm just feeling a divine hug of an affirmation like, you got this, bro. Keep going. People like it. So if you could just put your favorite emoji, a poop emoji, an alien emoji, you could put Team Human in the chat just so I can get a head count of the people that are all up in here, bro. What's up, Melissa? What's up, Kate Cleo? What's good? I see Julia up in here, XOXO Pulse. I see Richie's up in here, Angel Blue, Scotty Wheel, Clarissa, what's good? Monica Canada, Darlene, Matthew, Tanya. We got TBA. We got freaking Holly Skull up in here. Dang, bro, we got a grip. Cobra Kai's up in the house, Melissa. We got Anna Ray's up in here, bro. Let's go, dude. We got a gang of people, huh? There's a gang of us Team Humans up in here. To Dizzy, Ashley Clark. Lacey Lane's in the house, sending more love energy your way, Lacey. We got Christy Moles up in here. Let's go. What's up, dude? Lacey Kaler, what's good? Everybody's in here, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. Team Humans for life, bro. Team Human for life. Wendelin Goodwin, what's good? How are you? What's up? Let's hear what they got to say about this moon landing real quick.
Didn't even go to the moon. I can say definitively the perception of the entire thing was super managed. And I'm inclined to believe that, like, we did go to the moon, we experienced some weird stuff along the way, and that's what we're hiding. Is there a chance that we never went to the moon? Why have we not gone back?
What people like Bart Sibrel and other moon hoax proponents say.
Okay, real quick, I just have to have a question. Some people on the stream have been here. Do you guys know who Bart Sibrel is? Does anybody know who Bart Sibrel is? Bart Sibrel is like a guy who's spent his entire life debunking the moon landing. He has tons and tons of compelling evidence. You should just go look up Bart Sibrel. Shout out Bart Sibrel, friend of the show. Maybe one day we can have a conversation about the moon landing. I would love that, bruh.
We're super managed. And I'm inclined to believe that, like, we did go to the moon, we experienced some weird stuff along the way, and that's what we're hiding. Is there a chance that we never went to the moon? Why have we not gone back?
What people like Bart Sibrel and other moon hoax proponents say. I can explain.
Can you guys just see real quick? This dude has a fucking dent in his head, bro. Do you guys see the dent? Like, literally in this dude's fucking head right here, he's got a dent in his brain. Oh yeah, I did. I watched that whole interview with Danny Jones and Bart Sibrel, Scotty.
pretty much all of the main objections they have to the claim that we went to the moon in Apollo 11. So I think there are reasonable explanations for the apparent shadow discrepancies, for example, or Van Allen radiation belts, and the question of how we could have gone through. But it does seem like images released to the public may not have been the original imagery.
There are fake elements of the Apollo program. It's just like, how fake was it?
There is this particular exchange between Buzz Aldrin and Conan O'Brien from many years ago. It's on YouTube. Everyone can watch it.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
what?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
It sounded like Buzz Aldrin was saying that some of the imagery was not real, or it was a simulation, or was simulated. I agree it looks like it could have been fake, but I think it was just poor quality, and that's why it looks so fake.
Fuck no. Fuck no, bro. They didn't go to the moon, bro. I'm telling you, went to the moon and they saw aliens and shit, and they turned right the fuck back around. That's what I think happened. And I think for all of time, they've just been fucking trying to keep everybody under wraps, saying the same stuff. Yeah, what moon landing? One of the most compelling things that Bart Sabrell actually says about the moon landing that kind of just sticks with me forever, bro, is that for all of human time, humans have created things. And when they create a thing, they then create a better version of that thing and keep creating better versions of the thing they created. Our cell phones, right? They, at one point were very small, and over time, it just continued to exponentially get better and better and better and better and better. Correct? Correct? So how is it that the only piece of technology that we have ever created was the Apollo 11 rocket, and we never ever created anything better? Actually, NASA actually destroyed the blueprints to the rocket. It's weird. The whole situation's weird. Poor quality. Oh yeah, what about the new UFO files that just dropped of the moon landing pictures, and there's actually fucking spaceships in the background? They went there and seen some shit they weren't ready to talk about, bro. Oh yeah, coming to a city near you. The AI robots are coming to take over and make us slaves. Especially when they're going to be able to fucking chase us if we're running through any terrain. They're going to be able to just fucking come and get us no matter what. You can't fucking escape it. They can't climb mountains. You can't even run through the forest. You can't do any of that shit because this little fucker's going to find you. It's going to be real Minority Report. We got them Axon and Flock cameras, and we got these little robot dogs that just track everywhere you go. If you try to run away, they'll be able to go twice as fast as you could even run. There's no getting around this. They can jump, flip, backflip, do fucking side rolls and shit. It looks pretty insane to watch this little robot do this thing, right? This bitch ass motherfucking thing is dead ass breakdancing on our asses, bro. That shit was dead ass breakdancing on us, bro. Yeah, you ain't gonna ever catch me with one of these motherfuckers next to me, bro. Hell no. All right, we got one more clip to go over. We got one more clip. One more clip, and then we're getting into Jesus. Are you guys here for Jesus? Some of you guys have already watched this Jesus. One more clip. I'm telling you, if you're going to be here for the Jesus stuff, bro, it's going to change the way you look at reality, or at least for Bible study. Because we were really into some deep fucking homunculus shit at the beginning of the week, and then Mind Unveiled dropped some Bible stuff, and then we're going to go back to Jesus. You know what I mean? Because everybody needs to come to understand this information. If I'm being 100% honest with you, even if you don't believe it, even if you are like, that's bullshit, we still need to know the information. But let's let Redacted and Tucker talk real quick.
That is a concern that certainly is top of mind after the targeting of the Minab Girls' School strike, and whether or not AI machine-assisted targeting played any role in it, where it absolves us of like the moral conundrum here. We can say, no, it was AI, it was a mistake, we can't really have our hands in that. It was, humans weren't involved in that because it was AI, it was Palantir. Have our hands in that. It was, humans weren't involved in that because it was AI, it was Palantir. Had with maybe sources in the White House have heard that maybe AI was in any way involved in that?
Well, actually, it's funny you said that. I don't know much about much, but I'm interested in this subject, and I know people involved. I've learned about it over the past 6 months, and yes, there are examples of ongoing wars. Not any I'm aware of in this war, but in other conflicts ongoing, where targeting decisions have been made by machines with no human sign off.
I just wanted to play that one specific clip. At what point did any of us ever condone or consent to the idea that during war they would allow AI to make wartime decisions, like who is the target, where to hit? Do you know what I'm saying? This seems actually 100% honest with you, insane to me that they have just kind of given over authority inside of the war for the AI robot to decide who gets to live and who gets to die. That seems dystopian as shit, like fucking Mr. Orwell was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Seems pretty insane, bro. It seems insane, bro. It seems insane, bro. Okay. We're getting ready to get right up into this fucking homunculus, or not homunculus, Jesus. Sorry about that. Jesus. Real fast. Okay, guys. Tripoverdrip.shop. I'm dropping it in all the chats. Tripoverdrip.shop. We've got merch. If you guys don't know, we have merch, bro. The specific merch that I'm showing you are these handmade tie-dye shirts that I am going to be doing. There's only 5 of them. 3 of this design have already been purchased. So there is only 2 left of this bear design. It's got the little meditation bear up over here on the front. You know what I'm saying? It's got the little meditating bear. And then on the back, it's got that bear with the third eye. And then we've got the just regular Tripoverdrip logo on the purple and pink tie-dye with the alien on the front. There's only 5. There's 3 aliens left and 2 bears left. Tripoverdrip.shop. Get yours right now because they will probably be gone by the end of the weekend. But let me just show you some other stuff we've got. We've got some divine feminine gear. You know what I'm saying? We've got the 2 tank tops, female tank tops, crop and regular, with those matching Tripoverdrip shorts. The shorts do have pockets. We've got that divine masculine tank top, bro, with the matching divine masculine shorts. We have those as well. Right here. Tripoverdrip shorts for the men. Those are pretty sick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Julia has gotten hers already. We got a new freaking Tripoverdrip tumbler cup, 20-ounce stainless steel coffee cup, bro. I still haven't even gotten mine yet, so they're on the way. You know what I'm saying? But Tripoverdrip Stanley. Yeah, bro. Tripoverdrip.shop. I just dropped the link in every single one of the chats. We've got stickers. We've got some tote bags. These tote bags are made out of 100% recycled jeans. We got the biblical angel one. We got the OG alien one. We got the Team Human favorite, which is the Tripoverdrip Team Human. Release all of their names. Stop protecting pedophiles. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Thank you all for being here. Tripoverdrip.shop. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, guys. You want some butterfly ones? Okay, we might be able to throw together a little freaking butterfly design. That would definitely probably work. But yeah, that's the best way to help support the channel. Get yourself some Team Human merch. You guys ready to get into this shit? This shit's gonna get insane, bro. Here we go.
Spiritual wisdom, which is worth sacrificing everything to attain. Now let's cover false time and Jesus. One of the
false time and Jesus.
Key authors on alternative histories and chronologies is Anatoly Fomenko, the Russian mathematician and scholar known for his work in History, Fiction or Science, a series where he presents a new chronology. I believe it ties in here intimately with Jesus. Fomenko points out the lack of reliable primary sources for events dated before the 9th century. There's a vast gap in the record from the time of Rome all the way to the 12th century. Really, when we see many Arabic texts being translated into Latin. Essentially, Fomenko shows how historical documents have been tampered and or edited by later historians, making it even more difficult to ascertain their true content and chronology. But one thing that's interesting is how he discusses that Jesus Christ was actually born in 1053 and was...
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? That Jesus was actually born in the year 1053? Have any of you guys heard that before?
Crucified in 1086. This is fascinating to consider because it adds an entire different perspective to the Templar connection, as they come into formation in only 32 or 33 years later. His evidence for this is the Shroud of Turin. You know, the artifact that the Templars were attempting to steal and possess. Well, in this case, they are the descendants, so perhaps they're the ones who already had it, or they took it from the Holy Land, and some authors suggest it was so that they could worship the head of Jesus. Well, what is this?
Worship? Wait, he said worship the head of Jesus? Don't they worship the head of Mary Magdalene in France?
There is a tradition in southern France, particularly in the town of Saint-Maximin-la-Sainte-Baume, where what is believed to be the skull of Mary Magdalene is housed in a golden reliquary inside the basilica dedicated to her. This relic is displayed in the crypt and is part of an annual procession on her feast day where pilgrims come to pay their respects. While some may view this as a form of veneration, others might see it differently. It's an established religious tradition in that region.
But then, but don't they like take the Mary Magdalene skull and like tote it through the city, like kind of like on a freaking, what's the word, like in a parade or something?
What happens in Saint-Maximin-la-Sainte-Baume, France, is that the skull said to be Mary Magdalene's is indeed displayed in a golden reliquary within the basilica. And on her feast day, July 22nd, there is a procession where the relic is carried through the town as part of the celebrations. People gather, there are costumed participants, music, and a religious mass, followed by a procession of the relic.
Okay, so there definitely is some sort of skull worship, because in France, still to this day, they worship the skull of Mary Magdalene. Interesting.
Shroud of Turin. Essentially, it's a photograph of Jesus. This is a holy relic that was used to wrap Jesus during his burial. This negative image is associated with a popular Catholic devotion to the holy face of Jesus. Now let's not argue the authenticity, but Fomenko points out, quote, "These results have proved shocking for many. In September 1988, a report appeared telling of the analysis and the fact that it gave a certain dating of the shroud's fabric, which turned out 1,000 years more recent than the alleged date of Christ's death, even if the shroud is dated as a 11th century artifact." The author ceases the discussion of the dating after this and begins to ponder the veracity of Christ's image as seen on the shroud. One arrives at the following conclusions. 1. Either the Shroud of Turin is a forgery. 2. The radiocarbon datings can contain errors of several centuries or even millennia. 3. Or the Shroud of Turin is an original, but dated to the 11th, 13th century AD. If this could be the case, it is natural to ask about the century that Christ's lifetime pertains to. Could it really have been the 12th century? End quote. As you can see, he's even open to the possibility of the radiocarbon dating being incorrect, but this would pose some other questions as well in the dating of other historical artifacts. Essentially, Flamenco lays out a base that the surviving chronicles of our entire history only begins around the 10th century, as nothing can be confirmed before that date accurately.
Let's just clarify that. Let's just fact check it real quick. I heard somewhere that like majority of our historic documents or things that we rely on to tell us what happened in history, almost all of them start to be available in the 11th century. We really don't have anything prior to that. Is that accurate?
Not exactly. While many medieval European documents start appearing around the 11th century, we have much older records. Human records go back tens of thousands of years with cave paintings. The earliest...
Fuck you and your cave paintings. We're not talking about cave paintings, bro. We're talking about like historical documents, dude, about Jesus. But there is some pretty weird cave paintings, though, if you haven't looked at any of those before.
So Flamenco throws out the Scaligerian chronology, the typical viewpoint of the rise and fall of civilizations from 5,000 years ago, with Mesopotamian cultures and Egypt, a modern historical timeline. However, with starting this hypothesis, a number of phantom duplicates are found on the dates preceding 900 or 1000 AD. Flamenco claims that phantom duplicates have their medieval originals located in a time interval of...
Okay, I just have to ask this because this is very applicable. I have to ask for everybody who is here, okay? Have you heard the theory that there is 1,000 years missing in our timeline? There was just like 1,000 years added to everything that happened because the idea is that Rome wanted to be remembered as the most powerful empire for all of time. So they added 1,000 years of their reign on planet Earth so that no other empire could even come close to being as in power as long as they would. So Rome would always be remembered as the most powerful reigning empire of all history. Have you heard that before?
900 to 1600 AD. Flamenco, being a mathematician, devised a formula for calculating the dates of these events, by comparing and contrasting 4 different derived chronicles of their original chronicle. By doing this, he calculates a method of shift or adding of years to calculate approximately 330 to 360 years, as there are certain distortions, as he calls them, that need to be accounted for in history. It gets even more interesting because Flamenco popularized and made well known the use of J in historical records for dating of manuscripts and art. Jesus, or the X, was declared to stand for the figure 10. The letter I denoted the name Jesus, but was used for 1,000 years. The idea is, did Rome truly exist 2,000 years ago, with technology and architecture that was lost after the fall leading to the Dark Ages? Seems strange that there would be such a gap in the historical record. And considering what we know about secret societies, there's no doubt that we can consider that Scaliger may have played his part in the rule of the new Holy Roman Church, a way to extend their rule and power to ancient times. Now we begin the next section, and I do want to say that this video is not here to discredit Jesus. It's not our goal to send disrespect, although this may be considered blasphemous. I will handle the subject to the best of my ability with an open mind, not attempting to make irrational claims, and truly just explore the idea from a research perspective, as there are some serious connections to be made. So, is Jesus Christ a homunculus?
Is Jesus a homunculus? That is the question that we have been asking. And that is the answer, the stuff that we're going to learn about right now. Was Jesus or the Christ child a homunculus? Some of you might not even ever even heard that word before. Was the Christ child an artificially generated person? Like, you know, because he's like the Immaculate Conception where God put a baby inside of Mary and all of a sudden she just had a baby without the traditional way of reproduction with the male and a female. You know what I'm saying? I just want moving forward, I just want you to just look at the babies' faces They all replicate old men for some reason in historic art.
Is it such a crazy thought? Let's just think about this for a moment. He is birthed of a virgin, so he was born without the use of sex. It's obvious that this was some type of miraculous birth. Well, there are people who have spoken about this very topic, not only in the modern day, but there are actual historical figures who discuss this, although cryptically. This goes back to the early 15th century with Alonso Tostado, who was a Spanish theologian, counselor of John II of Castile, and briefly Bishop of Avila. His epitaph stated, "Wonder of earth, all men can know he scanned." A leading scholar of his generation, he's particularly known as an early theorist on witchcraft. Tostado proposed that Mary was a sealed vessel, although this is not the same as a traditional homunculus. It's very close because Mary had the menstrual blood in the womb. Tostado argued that Mary would not have enough blood for the full development of Jesus in the womb. Therefore, he would have been condensed into a miniature version of a baby. Therefore, they were attempting to explain the creation of Jesus as a homunculus, or in this case, a miniature human kept in a sealed vessel from the moment of creation, for the same ideology that we witnessed with Liber Vaci. Tostado also discussed the potential consequences of creating homunculi, stating that allowing a homunculus to grow into a fully developed human could be seen as tempting God and would reduce the term mother to the status of a flask. Additionally, this concept would go against the...
Wait a second. It would reduce the term mother to a flask, right? Isn't that what's happening when all of this shit's going around, where they're wanting to like take the word mom out of our vocabulary and literally put in there like birthing person and shit? It would just reduce the mother straight to a vessel.
views of the church, particularly the idea of salvation, where God died for everyone's sins, excluding spontaneously created life forms resulting from experiments like homunculus. This idea is reflected in the Arnaldian homunculus legend, where Arnold of Villanova would kill his alchemical homunculi before God might infuse a rational soul into the conceived. Arnold of Villanova was the ambassador for James II, King of Aragon and Sicily. He was known as the first physician that used alcohol as an antiseptic. This is in the 14th century. The first known mention of Arnold of Villanova comes from this period, specifically after 1323, as documented in the Biblioteca Comunale in Palermo. Now, why was Arnold suddenly the talk of the town? Well, it seems to be tied to a legend put forth by canonist John Andrea in 1346. According to this tale, our man Arnold successfully demonstrated alchemical transmutation to the Roman Curia in 1301. He showed the royal court how to create a homunculus. Now we're going to begin to take a look at medieval and early Christian art to assist us in our analysis. We didn't bring it up, but one thing to consider is that the great artists of history were typically initiated into the secrets as well, or they needed to embed the symbolism in their works. If we examine these paintings, we may find answers that are not to be found in the historical record. There are many curious details to consider.
Sorry, guys. If I'm being honest, we're just going to switch right to a different video. You know what? This is a little bit slower paced. We can do this in another time. I think we watch some of this shit right here, bro. I think we watch this one. Let's just go 40 minutes right into Jeffrey Epstein's AI baby farms. Are you guys down to watch that instead? I don't know. This stuff about Jesus in the Bible and all of that stuff, I've been just digging heavy into it. I'm still processing a lot of shit. I just, you know what I mean? If you guys are down for this Epstein's AI baby farms video, can you just drop some red hearts specifically in the chat? Oh man, this is going to be fucked up. we're going to recap over this Epstein stuff, actually. This is like a 5-part series. And everybody wants to know about what's going on with Epstein, right? I'm just really obsessed with this individual named Jesus and these other slower type-paced documentaries. I need to go over them multiple times because I can't retain all the information right at once. You know what I'm saying? So let's just start.
For the past 2 weeks, there have been some major updates to the files. It's actually starting to get crazy. People were telling me that I have to make a video on this, and while I typically stray away from recent events, something just told me that I should look into this. Now I realize why. This may be the biggest video I've ever made. I just spent the last week developing a research tool that would allow me to search with my own terms through 44,000 of those documents. But I took a completely different approach. I wasn't looking for names or occult terms. I was looking for what he was building. And what I found changes the entire story. Tucker Carlson had Ian Carroll on his show this week to go through the Epstein files. 2 hours. They covered the trafficking, they covered the intelligence connections, they covered the financial web, and then Tucker said something that stopped me.
I suspect that the DOJ was not very interested in making them very accessible, as noted by them not giving us zip downloads to even download them with this time. So, trying to make them more accessible.
Can I suggest a thread, for a younger, more energetic man to follow up on?
Absolutely.
And that's Epstein's fixation on genetics and biotechnology. Yeah. And it's very clear to me, well, much is not clear to me at all, and I don't understand this category very well. I'm not a scientist or geneticist.
Yeah, he did. He must have. I don't think he has Webb, but I'm pretty sure he created some sort of tool that's similar to Webb.
But I have noticed, not just with Epstein, but with a bunch of people in Epstein's orbit, there is a fixation on genetics and changing genetics and improving people and cloning and on really kind of tampering with the material of life in a way that someone who believed he was God would, or someone who's involved, in the supernatural would. I mean, there's really heavy stuff here, and that really, really matters. And I have not seen anybody go into that in a methodical way.
He's right. Nobody has. Until now. Here's the story everyone has. Epstein told scientists he wanted to see the human race with his DNA. He had a ranch in New Mexico where the plan was to impregnate 20 women at a time. George Church, Harvard's top CRISPR gene editing pioneer, had regular documented meetings with him. A victim wrote in her own words, quote, "I'm not your personal incubator." In 30 23andMe DNA kits were shipped to Dubai for a Middle Eastern royal. And that's where every outlet stopped. The victim diary got picked up by the tabloids. The 23andMe kits got a couple paragraphs in SF-Gate, and then everyone moved on to the next celebrity name. Everyone is asking who was in Epstein's circle, but nobody's asking what he was building. When you read these documents, the actual EFTA files, not the headlines, a pattern emerges. Shell companies declaring DNA analysis as their business activity. $50,000 wired to an artificial intelligence institute. A male fertility specialist getting haircuts at the residence. Then there are these meetings called designer babies, 6 days before meetings with the egg people. A woman flown from Manchester, England, and referred to a fertility clinic. There seems to be an operation, infrastructure, funding, scientists, and victims who knew. So let's just go through the documents. This is a Deutsche Bank Know Your Customer form for a company called Southern Trust Company Incorporated, registered in the U.S. Virgin Islands, sole owner and president, Jeffrey E. Epstein. DNA analysis. That's what Epstein told his bank that his company does. Expected quarterly revenue, $12.5 million. Annual income, $10 million. So, I went looking for what Southern Trust actually did. Nothing. No lab, no research, no scientist on payroll. The actual operations were pure investment management. Venezuelan government bonds, derivatives, Epstein's personal salary. The company was originally called Financial Informatics Incorporated. DNA analysis was a fiction, a qualifying business activity for USVI tax incentives. Now follow the money. The Cook Foundation, that's one of Epstein's nonprofits, wires $50,000 to the Singularity Institute for Artificial Intelligence. That's now called MIRI, the organization dedicated to building artificial general intelligence. EFTA 01500847. Nobody has ever reported this wire. $20,000 to the Worldwide Transhumanist Association. $100,000 to Ben Goertzel, one of the leading AGI researchers on the planet. A $200,000 invoice for Joseph Thackeray, a researcher George Church introduced to Epstein who was editing his own stem cells with CRISPR. $6.5 million to Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. Genetics, artificial intelligence, transhumanism, life extension, CRISPR gene editing.
You're right, Melissa. Watching, revisiting this stuff with new knowledge, because it's been months since we watched these. It just takes in, a lot of it screams a lot of crazy different stuff, right?
He funded all of it. And that's just the science side. So I kept digging. A master transaction ledger. 21 transactions from 2013 through 2018. Leon Black, the head of Apollo Management, one of the largest private equity funds on Earth, sends over $120 million through Epstein's Southern Trust Company. That money routes to Edmund de Rothschild.
Right, yep, the Rothschilds. That's what I was just about to say. Look, it says right here at the bottom, Exhibit A, Leon Black / Rothschilds Group.
Through Epstein's Southern Trust Company. That money routes to Edmund de Rothschild Bank in Geneva. $10 million goes directly to Benjamin Edmund de Rothschild personally. And in the same ledger, Southern Trust is investing in Peter Thiel's Valor Venture Funds. Epstein was the financial intermediary routing $167 million between one of Wall Street's largest PE funds, a European private bank, and Silicon Valley's most connected venture capitalist. In his cover story for all of it, DNA analysis. Then there's this, a complete investor pitch deck from a San Francisco biotech venture capital fund called Descartes Capital, found in Epstein's seized files. The fund explicitly targets Russian oligarch money. Their portfolio is gene therapy using engineered viruses, transgenic chicken bioreactors, meaning they insert human genes into animal germ cells, cancer immunotherapy. A Princeton molecular biology professor is on the advisory board. Descartes Capital returns 0 results connected to Epstein anywhere. No news article, no Reddit thread, nothing on YouTube. And then there's BioAlibi LLC. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. But essentially, Christina Galbraith previously worked for Epstein's foundation. By January 2019, she'd become the director of genetic therapies at a company called BioAlibi. It might be pronounced BioAlib, but again, I'm not sure. She published on genetic vectors, and she asked to keep using the foundation's Lexington Avenue office space. BioLab LLC returns 0 results on the open web. A genetics company that doesn't exist publicly, run by an Epstein Foundation employee working on genetic vectors out of his office? EFTA 02278036. Now this one should make you stop. In Epstein's files, there are investment research documents about Editas Medicine, a CRISPR gene editing company. Standard financial analysis. But look at what's in it. These are the only documents in 44,000 files that contain the word germline. That means editing DNA that gets passed down to future generations. Heritable genetic modification. Gene editing research about permanently modifying human embryos sitting in the seized evidence of a convicted sex trafficker. Ask yourself why that was in his files. One more. A file called traitsandappearance.xls. An Excel spreadsheet about human traits and physical appearance created by Curtis Marine, a researcher at Arizona State University's Institute of Human Origins, for a workshop called Human Uniqueness and Behavior Modernity. It was forwarded through the physicist Lawrence Krauss to Epstein. Then, Epstein forwarded it to Jess Staley, head of JP Morgan's investment bank. And he added a line, "Your daughter is also invited too." Okay, hold up. A spreadsheet cataloging human traits and appearance forwarded it to one of Wall Street's most powerful bankers with an invitation that included his daughter. Let's continue. If you're going to run a genetics program, you need access to a genetics lab. Epstein didn't just fund Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. He had his own key card. September 2017, Mei Huang, a PhD staff member, emails Epstein's assistant. The card reader system at Martin Novak's Institute had been changed. She needed an address to mail Jeffrey a new access card. So they mailed it to his home, 9 East 71st Street, New York. When the system changed again, instructions were sent for how to get to the 6th floor. That means Epstein had permanent, unsupervised building access to Harvard's Genetics Research Institute. And when the locks changed, staff sent him new keys. And he used that access. In the files, I found complete schedules for day-long private meetings at Harvard, back-to-back, all in one building, with some very important people. May 6th, 2018, 10:15 a.m., Martin Novak, the head of the program for evolutionary dynamics, 11:30 to 3, Joy Ito and a group from MIT including Caleb Harper from Open Agriculture, 3 p.m., Yosha Bach, the AI and consciousness researcher, 4 p.m., Leonid Peshkin. Okay, so this Peshkin guy, Harvard researcher in developmental biology and single-cell genomics, embryonic development, Epstein asked for him by name. Nobody has ever reported on Leonid Peshkin's involvement. And then dinner at 6 with Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary of the United States, at Martin Novak's Institute. Why? 5 months later, October 15th, same pattern. Novak at 11:30, then at 12:30, Kamila Naxarova, Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, cancer genetics, studies tumor evolution at the single-cell level. Nobody has reported on her either. 2 p.m., John de la Barda from MIT Open Agriculture. 3:30, Yosha Bach again. 5:30, snacks with Larry Summers. 7 p.m., dinner with Joy Ito. The same people, genetics, AI, consciousness, former Treasury Secretary. One building, one day, organized by a convicted sex offender with his own key card. If you're running a reproductive operation, you need a doctor. Meet Harry Fish. Harry Fish is one of America's leading urologists. His specialty is male reproductive health, sperm quality, fertility optimization, testosterone. He has 606 appearances in the Epstein documents, $2,800 in urology invoices, home visits at Epstein's residence on the same day the calendar reads 10, Harry Fish, 11:30, Leon, 2:30, Deepak, 3:30, Woody. That's Leon Black, Deepak Chopra, Woody Allen. But Fish wasn't just his doctor. It would seem he was inner circle. They had lunch at the 2nd Avenue Deli where Fish sent him a Wall Street Journal article about female Viagra. Fish got haircuts from Epstein's personal barber at the residence. He attended a Woody Allen movie screening alongside Karina Shiliak. And for Christmas, Epstein sent him an Apple Watch. And then a reminder call in May 2019, 6 weeks before Epstein's arrest. So it would seem he was inner circle, and Fish, his specialty, is the exact thing you would need for a reproductive operation. And Fish wasn't the only one. In September 2018, Epstein saw a second urologist.
Whoa.
Fish wasn't the only one. In September 2018.
Right there. What a weird ass text message, huh? Goyim. What's up, Goyim? Pizza and grape soda. Weird. Goyim.
Epstein saw a second urologist, Darius Paduch, Cornell Medical. And Monday the 24th, he sees Fish. Wednesday the 26th, he sees Paduch. Paduch's staff asked for the reason for the visit, but Epstein's office never answered. There's a note in the files that says, "Ask Dr. Fish." That's a cross-referral between the two urologists, with Epstein's office controlling the information. A few days later, Epstein's staff is frantically chasing blood test results. October 2nd through 4th, 3 days of calls trying to get results from Paduch's office. Keep in mind that Darius Paduch has since been convicted of sexually abusing his patients, including minors. Nobody has ever connected these two stories. Epstein's reproductive medicine specialist and his convicted abuser urologist seeing the same patient in the same week, cross-referring through Epstein's office. August 2018. Watch how fast this moves. August 2nd. A meeting called Designer Babies. Brian Bishop, biohacker, CRISPR advocate. The meeting uses a pre-existing video room. The URL is Taxmaster Genetics. That name already existed. That means these discussions had been happening. 3 days later, August 5th, Bishop puts the pitch in writing. The subject line is,
sorry guys, I gotta take this one down, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pull this one up real fast, boy.
Designer Babies.
Ooh.
And his goal, in his own words, the first live birth of a human designer baby.
Let me just go ahead and send this image to myself. We're going to look at this email, actually. We're going to look at this email real fast. From Brian Bishop. I just have to pull the image up so I can just click it tip to toppy. So I can look at it to pull it up ourselves. EFTA 01003966. Let's just look it up ourselves. Lost Scroll, thank you so much for gifting the sub, dude. Thank you for gifting the sub on Kick, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Or I can go like this and just hit copy. Come up over here and go like this. Close out of that. Pretty sure that's what it was. Or maybe there's an 8 in there. Trying to see, is that those zeros or those 8s, bro? Are those zeros or all oh, it's right there. Boom. Let me just pull it up. That's it right there. There's the file right there. This gets us out of our self-funded garage biology phase to the first live birth of a human designer baby, possibly a human clone within 5 years. Once we reach the first birth, everything changes and the world will never be the same, much less the future of the human species. Attached document shows 1.7 a year for up to 5 years. Wow. That seems attached is a document you requested from its use of fund spreadsheets for the designer baby and human cloning company. That seems weird, bro. That seems so so weird to my fucking gay ass. I'm not gay. I'm just playing, but that seems weird.
And possibly a human clone within 5 years. The budget was $1.7 million a year for up to 5 years, plus $1 million for a lab setup. The plan was transgenic mice first, then human volunteers. And the intended outcome? The first human with transgenic sperm. And we begin taking pre-orders.
Where does it say pre-orders at?
Orders for genetically modified humans. Epstein's response? I have no issues with investing. The problem is only if I am seen to lead. So he wanted in, he just didn't want his name on it. And Bishop knew that. In the same thread he writes, anonymity requirements about babies. We can't publicly identify whose these are or their parents or benefactors. It would brand the child as, essentially, and sadly, a freak for life in the media. He then offers to run the whole thing under his own project so Epstein has, his words, a sufficient level of deniability. There it is. By August 13th, Bishop sent a follow-up. He was already running experiments. Quote, proceeding with more mouse testing at my Ukraine lab.
Weird. Can we just make a point, bro? The person that was doing this cloning and designer baby shit with Jeffrey Epstein had a lab in Ukraine. Is there any weird reason why America just decided to jump on it and protect Ukraine? I personally believe that it's possible that there is a whole bunch of fuckery that America is involved in Ukraine, and they are willing to just do whatever's necessary to make sure that the entire planet doesn't know what America is doing in Ukraine. That's what I think. Not only is there like trafficking, but there's probably like weird hybridized human experiments. They're cloning humans with designer babies, obviously, right here. You know what I'm saying? Just seems so fucked up, bro.
Surgeries, microinjection. The lab was at the Institute of Gerontology at Ukraine's Academy of Medical Sciences in Kiev. A real lab with real experiments. Real animals being cut open and injected with modified genetic material. This is starting to look like a cloning program and a billionaire funder who wanted to stay invisible. August 8th, David Mitchell, Epstein's fixer, sends an email. Jeffrey wanted to set up a meeting with the egg people. And the staff replies, ha, egg people. August 9th, 7:30 a.m. The egg people meeting happens at 9 East 71st Street. By 11, Brad Karp is there, one of the top litigation lawyers in the country. By 1:15, lunch with Leon Black. August 20th, a woman is flown from Manchester, England to New York. September 9th, Epstein personally directs his staff. Find her a gynecologist in Manchester. September 2018, staff recommends Manchester Fertility Clinic. Okay, so 6 days between a designer babies meeting and an egg people meeting. 11 days later, a woman flown internationally and referred to a fertility clinic. Nobody has reported on the egg people term, not even a single news article. Now we go international. So CNBC just ran a piece on Epstein's Silicon Valley connections. They confirmed Anne Wojcicki, the founder of 23andMe, was connected to Epstein. A victim alleged that she met Wojcicki on Epstein's island. CNBC reported that and moved on, but they didn't mention this. That's Epstein's own email, misspellings and all. Rashid Epstein, a fake identity created to register a DNA kit for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. His assistant, Leslie Groff, follows up. We can register a kit for you as Rashid Epstein. The kits go to JFK Terminal 4, Door 5, onto Emirates Flight 202 to Dubai. When 23andMe invalidates them for geographic restrictions, Sultan proposes a workaround. Collect the DNA in Dubai, mail the samples to New York. This seems to be a covert DNA collection operation using a fraudulent identity run through household staff for Middle Eastern royalty? And here's what ties it all together. March 2014, John Brockman, who runs the Edge Foundation, sends out invitations for a dinner in Vancouver. The guest list: Jeff Bezos, Sergey Brin, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Larry Page, and the two names that matter for this story, Jeffrey Epstein and Anne Wojcicki. Anne Wojcicki, the founder of 23andMe, the same company whose DNA kits Epstein registered under a fake name and shipped to Dubai royalty. CNBC had access to the same documents I did. They confirmed Wojcicki was connected to Epstein, and they left all of this on the table. Read the article. Every name gets the same treatment. Thiel, legal and legitimate purposes. Hoffman, philanthropic purposes. Gates, absolutely absurd and completely false. Brin, no comment. The article mentions zero genetics, zero DNA, zero reproductive programs, zero CRISPR. The words baby, fertility, and gene don't appear once. That's not journalism. That's damage control for Silicon Valley. They wrote the version of the story that protects the people in it. Now, Bill Gates. 3 days ago, the Wall Street Journal published an article called "How Epstein Inserted Himself in a Split Between Bill Gates and a Top Gates Advisor." They reported that in 2013, Epstein jumped into negotiations between Gates and his science advisor, Boris Nikolic. That Epstein wrote fake resignation letters to himself as leverage, that he dangled allegations about Gates' extramarital affairs, and that Gates himself said, quote, "Jeffrey was quite helpful. Without him, it would have been harder," end quote. So what is the Wall Street Journal's angle here? While sure, they are going deep by revealing this, but it seems like their angle is Epstein was a manipulator who exploited a business split. And that's true, but that's where they stopped. They never asked the obvious question. Why would a convicted sex trafficker care about a biotech fund separation? Everyone knows Gates and Epstein met, but nobody really knows why. Look at this document. A draft separation agreement between Boris Nikolic and Bill Gates. Nikolic was Gates' science advisor, one of his closest. The agreement says they won't disparage each other, they'll keep it confidential, employment ends January 1st, 2014. But this document was sent to Jeffrey Epstein for input. A confidential employment separation between Bill Gates and his science advisor? And Epstein was the one being consulted? Why? Nikolic emailed Epstein directly about the terms. In addition to changing date to the end of January, the last point needed total change, helping me find a job. He was negotiating his exit from Bill Gates through Jeffrey Epstein. Boris Nikolic was later named in Epstein's will as alternate executor. 124 documents connect them in the corpus. Epstein wasn't just socially connected to Gates. He was brokering confidential employment separations for Gates' closest science advisors. Nikolic is the bridge figure. Everything I've shown you so far is infrastructure. Shell companies, wire transfers, meeting calendars, key cards, documents. But the files contain something else. This is a letter written by a victim, addressed directly to Jeffrey Epstein. This is scary. Let me show you what this document is. Your body has never been given time to properly heal. Where is my baby? Where is Jelaine? I am not your personal incubator. She knew she was being used for reproduction and she said it directly. But that's actually just the surface. This is about to blow your mind. So I'm sure you've been seeing the incubator stuff in the news recently. It's been covered, but they're not really explaining it. This is what they didn't tell you. This victim didn't write that letter in English. She wrote it in rail fence cipher. A rail fence cipher is a transposition code. You split your message across 2 rows, alternating letters. Top, bottom, top, bottom. To read it, you weave the rows back together. The actual page in the EFTA is not the journal. It's rows of letters that look like occult nonsense. But what I just read you, I'm not your personal incubator, where is the baby, where is Jelaine? That's what you get once you decode it. It would seem that the DOJ apparently had cryptanalysts decode it, and then they added this plain text translation to the file. But they don't clarify at all that it was a cipher. They just published the decoded letter like she wrote it normally. And they left out that the cipher ends with death. See, you're missing the context. The real question is, why does a trafficking victim know how to write in cipher? Why would she need to? A rail fence cipher isn't something you just pick up. Someone most likely taught her this. That's a red flag. A victim writing in code implies training and operation. This reads like ritual abuse more than anything else. All the ciphers were decoded. One of them mentions the blood from supposedly Leon Black. We've mentioned him several times. The other cipher is her guilt. She feels like a monster. She remembers the screams. But I was looking through the PDF and I found this page. It's like a bunch of stickers or cutouts. And there's one that says, "Protect the vanishing." And this victim wrote children. The vanishing children? What is she talking about? What's crazy is there's a whole nother PDF, and that too has a bunch of ciphers. Now let me show you really quick, because I can't explain it all, but you just need to see it. I'm sure most of you remember when this all came out, but here's the thing. We had zero context. Think about what I'm telling you right now, and how this all connects. Look at these ciphers. Look at her cutouts. This is no normal victim. She describes a forced medical procedure. Quote, "Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't speak." She doesn't talk. A shot in rod-like instruments with a hook, consistent with a D and C procedure. Apparently the doctor was from Israel. Ghislaine Maxwell was present and directing. A decision was made, but I can't tell Jeffrey. Maxwell was making reproductive decisions Epstein didn't even know about. This victim was impregnated, carried to term, and her baby was born alive. She even names Jean-Luc Brunel directly. Quote, "Jean-Luc Brunel is a disgusting pig." She says she was sent back after 6 weeks. Quote, "Punishment for trying to run." Right there, that's the reason for the ciphers. And here's a line that ties everything together. The superior gene pool? Why me? Why my hair color and eye color? That feels very Nazi-like. She says the piano and music comments we made to convince her this is right and will create perfect offspring. At first I thought that sounded like hypnotism, but it seems like they were trying to teach her to play the instrument. Quote, "I miss the person I was before I was made into what feels as a human incubator." Okay, so this is a metaphor. She seems to be describing a eugenics program, and we've been tracing this through the documents. George Church, egg people, CRISPR, designer babies. And here's a girl saying they selected her for her hair color and eye color to create perfect offspring? She called it Nazi-like. And like I said, look at these stickers or cutouts and how the ciphers are under them. She's spelling it out for you. And look at this. "Help me. Please. Can't anyone find me?" That's what the documents show. But let me tell you what I think it means. I saved this one for last because it connects everything. December 2nd, 2018. A Harvard lunch at Martin Novak's Institute. The guest, George Church, Harvard's top CRISPR pioneer. Seth Lloyd, MIT quantum computing. Martin Novak, and a woman. She had just flown in from Paris. She needed a US cell phone, and she wasn't American. Now look at this email. Epstein directing his staff on travel routes. Same as last time. Kyiv to Paris, Moscow to Paris, St. Petersburg to Paris, Odessa to Paris, all converging on his apartment at 22 Avenue, Foch in Paris. It would seem that apartment was the hub for the Eastern European trafficking pipeline. Women from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, routed through Paris. Same as last time means this was a reoccurring operation with established routes. So why was a woman from that pipeline at a Harvard genetics lunch with the world's leading CRISPR researcher? Everything that I've shown you so far has been the documents. I haven't made a single claim. I haven't accused anyone of anything. What follows is what I think this means. You can disagree, you can turn off the video, but if you made it this far, I think you need to hear this. When you lay out all these documents, 3 layers emerge. Layer 1, the personal predation. This is the story everyone already knows. The massages, the girls, the island. Epstein was a predator. That's the version that went to trial, and that's where most people stopped.
Can we just agree that that really is like the whole entire point of all of it, is that the news covered exactly what they wanted to cover and then just completely moved on to it because they don't want people diving deeper into this stuff. They don't want people to know that he was trying to create, to inseminate 20 different women at a time at Zorro Ranch. They don't want him to know, people to know that he was trying to alter the human DNA and upload his mind into computers and cryogenically freeze his head and his penis and all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Layer 2, blackmail. Cameras in every room, every bedroom, every bathroom, every property. When you have the most powerful people on earth walking through your doors and you have footage of what they do behind the closed ones, you don't need money. You have leverage.
Whoa. Jared Kushner, right there. That's crazy. Let's read that. It says Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS, learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. For example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner were both his students, Alan Dershowitz's students. Dershowitz told CHS that if he were young again, he would be holding a stun gun as the Israeli intelligence agent. CHS believed Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. Epstein belonged to both U.S. and allied intelligence agencies. Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief Epstein. He was also close to the Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United Emirates were allied against Qatar, Turkey, and Iran, Syria. Weird, bro. Weird.
That's the intelligence operation. Layer 3, the genetics pipeline. And this is what no one is talking about. It would seem that the trafficking wasn't just predation. It was a supply chain. The victims weren't just being exploited, they're being harvested. Eggs extracted, menstrual cycles tracked, fertility clinics arranged, babies taken. And a victim literally wrote, "I'm not your personal incubator." She's describing her function in the operation. But there's one thing that everyone is missing. Why Silicon Valley? Everyone keeps asking why Epstein was connected to tech billionaires. The answer isn't that they were donors. But what if their companies are the infrastructure? 23andMe, genetic profiles on millions of people. That's the training data. Palantir, pattern recognition across massive data sets. That's the trait selection engine. Microsoft, cloud computing and AI processing power. That's the computational backbone for processing genomic data. George Church in CRISPR, that's the editing tool. Once the AI identifies what to change, Church's lab can change it. Oil money can write checks. Only Silicon Valley owns AI, big data, and genetic databases. They're not funding the operation, they are the operation. Now keep in mind, this is all theoretical. I am interpreting public documents, but the infrastructure is real, the companies are real, and the connections between them are in the files. And if this theory is correct, it doesn't stop at production. These aren't just designer babies. It monitors the human. Palantir isn't just analyzing genetic data on the front end. It's a surveillance infrastructure that tracks populations on the back end. What am I saying? It would seem that these sickos are trying to design an engineered human race that's powered and monitored by AI. Design them, produce them, monitor them, control them, all in AI. That's why I called this video AI Baby Farms. It's not just baby farms. If you follow the documents to their logical conclusion, what you're looking at isn't just a trafficking operation. It's the blueprint for an AI-monitored, engineered population. Allegedly. And remember what I told you at the beginning of the video. Epstein told scientists he wanted to see the human race with his DNA. He wanted to impregnate 20 women at a time at his ranch in New Mexico. Everyone reported that like it was just fantasy, like it was some delusion of a narcissist. But look at what I just showed you. The shell companies, the fertility doctors, the egg harvesting, the CRISPR research, the AI funding. It seems like he was describing this operation. That is the full picture as I understand it, but that's just from 44,000 documents. Every EFTA number has been on your screen, so you can verify everything I've shown you. Now, the story doesn't end here. The documents speak for themselves, but if you want to understand why I called this video what I called it, stay here for 5 more minutes, because none of this is new. This has been happening for almost 300 years. In 1739, the Foundling Hospital opened in London, and it was funded by royalty, supported by aristocrats. And if you look at the coat of arms, there's the Diana of Ephesus, the multi-breasted ancient fertility goddess. But if you look closely, those aren't breasts, they're eggs. Right there on the official seal of a children's hospital. Why do you have occult symbolism on something that's supposed to be a charity? And what about in America? Well, there's a fraternal order that many have never heard of. They're called the Odd Fellows. Similar to Freemasons, but with a completely different purpose. Funded by royalty, their symbols include the all-seeing eye, the fasces, skull and bones, and they were the ones that ran the orphanages in America in the 19th century. They ran the asylums. Their founder, Thomas Wildey, was himself an orphan. Orphans grooming the next generation of orphans. And they did all of this under the name of philanthropy. Now, if you follow the channel, you already know what I'm about to show you. But for those who don't, there are thousands of postcards from the 1890s to the 1910s that nobody talks about. They show babies being grown in cabbage patches, babies being harvested from gardens, babies arriving on trains, babies being pulled from water with hooks and nets, and some that literally say in French, "Nous sommes vendeurs," we are for sale. These aren't art projects, these aren't cute jokes. There are thousands of these across Europe and America, and they depict a production line, a repopulation operation. The woman in the red is their handler. The men in the top hats pay for them. Familiar, right? This is the real history behind the Cabbage Patch Kids, and it's even in their lore. A story about babies being grown in a garden, delivered by a stork in uniform, while an evil witch tries to enslave them for labor. Nobody really ever questioned where that story came from. In 1881, a French doctor attached to a foundling hospital built the first baby incubator. He modeled it on a chicken hatchery. Within a decade, baby incubators filled with live premature infants were exhibited at World's Fair.
Wait a second. Did you see that? Baby incubators. It also says there were giants in the earth on those days, and there shall be giants in the earth in these days. And if giant babies are the making of giants and giantesses, all will admit the importance of a good send-off. How come that's connected to giants? Baby incubators and giants?
Premature infants were exhibited at World's Fairs across Europe and America. The medical journal that covered it wrote, quote, "It is just as essential in raising men and women as it is raising any kind of stock," end quote. And in 1896, at the same Paris World Fair that showcased those incubators, the first narrative film ever made premiered, Le Fée aux Choux, The Fairy of the Cabbages, a woman pulling babies from a cabbage patch and handing them to couples who pay a farmer. The first movie ever made was about selling babies, and it was created to promote the incubators. Then came the trains. Between 1854 and 1929, over 200,000 children were loaded onto orphan trains and shipped from East Coast cities to the Midwest and West. 72% of them had at least one living parent. They weren't orphans, they were taken. Their names were changed, their records destroyed. They were displayed at train stations and then chosen by families. And then we're just told to forget everything about where they come from. So to put that together, foundling hospitals funded by elite with fertility goddesses on their seals, a secret fraternity running the orphanages, thousands of postcards advertising babies for sale, incubators modeled on chicken hatcheries at world fairs. The first movie ever made is about producing and selling babies, and 200,000 children were shipped across the continent with their identities erased. Now look at what I just showed you in these documents. Shell companies declaring DNA analysis, CRISPR gene editing, fertility doctors, egg harvesting, AI processing, forced pregnancies, babies taken, women trafficked through international pipelines and brought to genetics meetings, and $167 million routed through one man's shell company to a Rothschild bank, the same banking dynasty that's been at the center of European finance since the foundling hospitals were built. The same operation, different century. The only thing that changed is the technology. Okay, so I showed you what I found, but that was just from 44,000 documents in the database that I was using. There are 3.5 million pages in the full DOJ release. What I showed you today is just what one person found in 1 week. There's so much more, and there are a lot of open threads. Nobody on YouTube has gone through the documents like this. Tucker said that nobody has gone into the genetics methodically. I just did. And this is just the surface. Part 2 goes even deeper. This whole thing is way older than Jeffrey Epstein. Alright guys.
Are you guys ready for We're gonna get into episode 2 on Monday, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. Thank you. It's Friday. My kids are upstairs acting a fool. I got some stuff I gotta get done. I gotta get these freaking tie-dyes done. But yeah, I love you guys for real. Thank you guys for coming to hang out today. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, one more thing before we go. I wanted to listen to the new Iran Lego song about Charlie Kirk. You guys want to listen to that with me real fast? Queen Trip sent it to me from Stu. Oh yeah, we got to breathe too. You're right. Thank you for reminding me about the breath work. Let's just see what this is right here. You guys ready?
He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text, rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked. He told her, right, don't take that ride, I'll rent it outright, don't sell that lie. Regime change, turns fire to flood, 90 million lives, mouth is blood. Mega heard them numbers don't lie, almost 90 said no when the poll went high. No war without ran, that message spread, then the war drums came when the voice went dead. SUV floor, pieces on black, roll white marks, now run that back. They said one shot, one rooftop frame, but the mic got louder than the official claim. Mic check, he said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text, rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked. Candice pulled threads, they called it noise, but questions don't die when they fear that voice. Who clipped the mic, who cleaned the scene, who moved too fast behind the screen? Bullet fragment came back then, not cleared, not closed, still questions within. Prosecutor talk, judge struck back, now the courtroom pressure got cracks in the track. He wanted fire, Charlie said wait, don't hand America another war state. He wasn't Iran, he wasn't outside, but truth is truth when the war machine lies. He saw the trap before the blast, said that road turns nations to ash, and headlines spun and the war got sold. Now the mic check echoes through the cold. Hot mic glow, black shard shine, war drums roll, right on time. Mic check, he said no one, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text, rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked. Sacred defense. He said no war, Iran remembers, questions remain. Sacred defense.
Damn, dude. What in the fuck was that, dude? Mic check. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. Mic check. Bing, ticka, bow, bow, bow. Nope, not her. Let's see here.
All right. Welcome, all you beautiful breathing people.
You guys ready to breathe? It's like to be honest, it's Iran. It's crazy, huh? That's crazy that shit's coming from Iran, bro. All right, let's get into this breathing exercise, bro. The end of every stream, when shit gets super heavy, we learn that freaking Jeffrey Epstein was into some weird ass shit, bro. Some epigenetics, some cloning, all that shit, boy. We got to get some breath work in, bro. You guys ready for breath work? Can we get some aliens in the chat if you're ready for that breath work? Release the negative thoughts, the negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Go into our freaking weekend grounded, you know, our energy calm, bro. So if you have the ability, bro, please turn up your volume on your phone, chill, sit down, lay down, just listen and breathe with me, bro. That's all I'm asking. Just listen to the video and breathe. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Down. All right. Welcome, all you beautiful breathing people. Sit down, lie down, whatever you would like. Me, I like to lay down because I'm able to fill up my lungs more and have a deeper experience. But to each his own. In today's practice, We will be doing 3 rounds of deep inhales and exhales, followed by 1 1-minute breath hold and 2 1-minute 30-second breath holds. The last 2 rounds, there will be a bit faster breathing, something like but don't worry, the music is here to guide you along the way, along with my voice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this natural high. All right, let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. In, out, in, out. Good. Try to fill up the stomach, then fill up the chest, let it out. In, out, in, out. You're doing great. All right, 10 more. Four more. 3, 2. On the last one, get as much as you can in, fully in. Now exhale, let it out. Relax. Listen to the music. And just be aware of what you're feeling. Listen to the rhythm of your heartbeat, to the rhythm of this music. Just relax fully. You're almost there. 30 more seconds. And in this next round, halfway through, there will be some faster breathing. Just follow along to the rhythm and enjoy the ride. 10 more seconds. Inhale in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale fully and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Fully out. Get ready for round 2. All right.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1. Fully in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Stay with the rhythm. Stay with the breath. Fill up the stomach, fill up the chest, and let it out. Alright, 3 more, and then we will start breathing a bit faster. Last one, follow the rhythm. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Keep on following the rhythm. You're almost there. Good. 4, 3, 2. Last one fully in. Exhale, let it out. 1.5 minute breath hold. And by now, you might be experiencing different sensations throughout your body. Maybe you feel a change in your body temperature or some tingling in your face. Just witness it and be with it. And each time that you become aware of these sensations, you're coming back to the present moment, to here and now. All right, 30 seconds left. If you ever feel the need to breathe, just breathe. All right, 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully in. Hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale fully.
It's
Get
magic,
ready for
bro.
the last round.
It's magic,
3,
bro.
2, 1. In, out, in, out. Follow the rhythm. Bring it all in, out, in, out. Okay, 4 more, and then we're going into the fast breath. Remember, just follow along to the rhythm. Okay, last one. Here we go. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good. Stick with the rhythm. You're doing good. Almost there. 5 more. 4, 3, 2. Last one fully in. Let it out. 1.5 minute breath hold. Maybe you find yourself thinking about what you need to do after this or what you were doing before this. Just come back to how you are feeling. Witness these sensations, the rhythm of your heart, the tingling in your face. How does your body temperature feel? All of that is here and now. 30 more seconds. The breath can always take us back to now. So when you're lost in thought, in conversation, or waiting in a line, just take a few slow breaths, and voila, you're back in the now. 10 more seconds. You're doing great. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully in. Hold at the top. 15 seconds. All right. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Fully out. Very good. Let your breathing return to normal. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. I can't, but maybe you can. All right. Let me know below in the comments what you thought, and I wish you all the best. Remember to
Whoa, guys. You guys. Oh, man, that was great, dude. I don't know about you guys, but I feel energized, bro. I'm like watching as like, I can almost feel the energy shift when I like open my eyes and stuff. It all looks crazy, bro. It all looks crazy, bro. Shit, dude. What's up? Who's still here, bro? Hell yeah. What a great stream, dude. Oh, man. Just breathe. That's it, bro. Just breathe with me, dude. Just breathe with me, bro. I love you guys, bro. Thank y'all for being here. Be on the lookout for maybe a stream Sunday evening. Queen Trip, I might get her up in here to chill with us. And if nobody's told you today, bro, I love you, bro. Thank you for being here. I'm proud of you. And with that, I will see you guys next time.